You're watching the GetUp Show.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the show. You already know who it is. It's your host with the most, Sendez Daiti, back with another video. Today we've got a very special video today on a very interesting topic. It's actually very surprising, and don't get offended by this, but we're going to be covering the plane crash in Philadelphia. Yes, there is yet another. You're going to ask, wait, Philadelphia? Yes, that's right, folks. There has been a plane that just crashed over Philadelphia. I'm not sure exactly where this plane was going to, but apparently 6 people did not make it from that crash. And apparently it looked like it was like smack dab in the middle of the street somewhere, but it's pretty crazy. So stay tuned for that. But before that, a few announcements. I'd like for you all to like this video so that it could find more people like you. And I'd like for you all to subscribe so that you could find videos like these later on. And with that, let's get into it. But first, let's introduce ourselves.
You're watching the GetUp Show.
So first things first, let's look over some footage that people happened to catch of this plane after the crash.
Oh shit.
That was pretty insane. That was pretty graphic. I'm gonna try to limit some of the graphic footage that shows up, so just bear with me with it in the meantime. But first, let's take a look at some of the comments just to see some people's thoughts on what happened so far. So a small plane crash has left multiple people injured in Philadelphia, as shocking footage shows chaotic scenes on the ground where it came down. Footage shared to social media shows the wreckage of the unknown flight near the intersection of Roosevelt Boulevard and Cotman Avenue around 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. NBC 10 is reporting at least 3 homes and multiple vehicles were struck. Homes and caught fire. Ooh, good thing it's not California. According to CBS News, at least 6 fatalities confirmed. 6 people succumbed to this crash, comprising 2 pilots, 2 doctors, 1 patient, and 1 family member. Now, as you can see from some of the viewers of this post, they had some things to say. Let's see what they are. Which one was the airplane, the first crash or the second? Someone just sent in a comment that says, I have a friend that was in the area and I think it was weather or something because they were only in the air for 25 minutes. Damn, was that after takeoff? Like coming from where though? That's not long at all. Or they had said something with the motor. Jesus Christ, which airline was it? Because the one that crashed over Washington was American Airlines. So I'm just curious to know which airline, just in case, if it's like a pattern or something. Which one was the airplane, the first crash or the second one? The same object, different angle. Okay, so that looked more like a cruise missile than an actual plane crash. Alright, bro. We don't have to start sending conspiracies out there talking about cruise missiles. Planes crashing more in January than ever before. Shit getting weird in 2025. And it's only the first month. That was after takeoff coming from North Philadelphia Airport. Damn, what's the problem? If it's coming from that short of a place, like, shit hit the fan in this country as soon as Trump got in office. Word. That's a fact. So let's take a look at a few more posts of some passengers apparently in United Airlines returning to Lagos. I'm not sure if this is like the same instance, but I'm just wondering like why all these planes are going down. Like ever since, like, if anyone knows, ever since like those Boeing articles started coming out, like we've been seeing like the holes fall through for how well these planes are made. So this one must have been like an emergency landing. So thankfully this one wasn't a fatal crash, but this must have been like a while ago. For me, last night we had a horroring experience on United flight from Lagos to Washington D.C. Oh, that was the D.C. one? The plane was spiraling out of control. Jesus Christ, lost its navigational and other tools. We had gone past Abidjan and were initially to make an emergency landing in Ghana. But the plane later regained all lost tools and we were able to come back to Lagos. And with some people injured, including some crew members, when we landed, we had to wait for medical personnel who took forever to come to the plane. We have no value for human life in this country. I don't know what therefore are never prepared for emergencies. I'm not sure who's writing this one. Having survived a plane with major technical issues, surviving the almighty Nigerian altitude seemed a bigger threat. May God heal this country. We were housed in a hotel near the airport. Okay, let's take a look at some of the comments for this one. United States flag carrier, United Airlines. Outbound from Lagos to Washington has declared an emergency return to Lagos. Vanguard learned that several passengers and crew aboard the aircraft of Boeing 787 sustained minor injuries. The flight, which had 245 passengers, 8 flight attendants and 3 pilots, made a direct return to the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, while outbound over Ivory Coast airspace. According to one of the passengers, who spoke under anonymity, the incident happened after they had unfastened their seatbelts. The passenger said, "We had already been served our meals when the plane lost pressure and dropped. We noticed a sharp descent. I hit my head on the ceiling because of the impact. I became unconscious, but one person from the medical team came to attend to me in the middle of the turmoil. The sharp descent happened 3 times, causing some people to sustain injuries. We spent 4 hours on air. In the midst of the turmoil, the pilot said we were going to land in Ghana, but we eventually landed in Nigeria. Clarifying the development, the airline in a chat with Vanguard said flight from Lagos to Washington, D.C. returned to Lagos to address another technical issue. After landing safely, the aircraft was met by first responders to address reports of minor injuries to several passengers and crew. So some people are saying, which it is really far-fetched, but one of these countries has which country has hacked the American aviation system, and the government doesn't want to come out and say it. Everyone, no plane flight this year, stay away. Something is happening here. Yeah, like till they solve these issues of all these planes crashing and colliding into other objects. You know, the one thing they were built, they hope wouldn't happen. It's starting to happen more frequently. Something's going on. My sister was on this aircraft and she hasn't still gotten herself till now. Why is it all plane headed towards Washington, D.C., huh? Y'all see stuff like this happening on the first, and the first they want to say is not everything is a conspiracy. All right, then. But anyway, let's continue. Let's continue with that one. I want to take a look at a few on TikTok to see what some of the people on there are thinking about.
Oh God.
This is crazy.
Misericórdia, cara.
I don't know.
Wow.
This is crazy.
Holy cow.
2 days after the worst U.S. air disaster in 2 decades killed 67 people in Washington. 2 days after the Washington incident, 2 days after the Washington incident, we actually have this second plane, crashing. And there was no obstruction or anything. And apparently one of the viewers in the show mentioned that it happened shortly after takeoff. So what's going on with these airplanes? What kind of airplane was it?
The plane is getting lower and lower and lower. It nipped the house. When it nipped the house, it hit a couple cars. Boom! And into the plaza, into the Dunkin' Donuts, everywhere. I've never seen nothing like that a day in my life.
Once I seen the big ball of fire, I came outside. I walked straight down there, started seeing a bunch of plane pieces, and it just honestly like a human foot or something. It was in a shoe still, just on the side of the
human foot in a shoe.
The plane is getting lower and lower and lower. It nipped the house. When it nipped the house, it hit a couple cars. Boom! And into the
More tragedy just up I-95, and that's where we begin with breaking news in Philadelphia. The scene of another plane crash, a medical transport jet carrying 6 people crashing into a busy neighborhood, exploding into a fireball overnight. Here right now is a live look over the area where you can see that massive debris field. This is thanks to our station, WPVI's helicopter, where you can just see that debris littered around the street where there are businesses and homes nearby. The extent of the damage is extensive. ABC's Stephanie Ramos joins us live there now. Good morning to you, Stephanie. You came from D.C., stopped in Philly just after we learned about this plane crash last night.
That's right, Janae. And in that medical jet coming down in this northeast Philadelphia neighborhood like a lawn dart. No one on board survived, and several people on the ground were injured.
That's a whole plane right there burning, y'all.
Overnight, a massive inferno in northeast Philadelphia after a medical transport jet crashed into a residential neighborhood.
Plane just crashed into the plaza. I just saw a plane basically just hit the buildings, and just an explosion happened, and I just seen the sky light up.
Chilling surveillance video capturing the moment it happened. You can see an explosive fireball in the night sky before the jet plummeted to the ground.
Keep moving! Keep moving!
All black smoke covering everything. The houses ended up catching on fire down there, and there was plane pieces everywhere.
The small plane, a jet rescue air ambulance carrying a pediatric patient, her mother, and 4 crew members, according to the company. The child had just received care from a children's hospital in Philadelphia. All 6 on board heading back to their home country of Mexico with a stop in Springfield, Missouri. The jet taking off from northeast Philadelphia airport shortly after 6 p.m., crashing just moments later. Dramatic images capturing the fiery aftermath of the crash. A massive blaze in the streets, buildings and vehicles engulfed in flames. First responders and emergency vehicles rushing to the scene.
The plane crashed just a few feet away from where I'm standing, narrowly missing this strip mall right here. You can see police vehicles set up all around this area. They've set up a massive perimeter stretching blocks in each direction.
Stanley James III was in the parking lot of the mall when the crash happened.
As we looking around, like literally the whole parking lot is shaking. It was like a train wreckage, like maybe like a real loud, bad car accident almost.
Wow, that's insane, folks. But that's gonna be all for this stream for now. You know, my thoughts and prayers go out to their families. Hopefully they can figure out these issues of why these planes are going down, and we're gonna cover a little bit more on this later on, so be sure to tune back in. Sometime around like midday, around like 2 or 3 o'clock, I might pop back in. But this has been the GetUp Show, and I look to see you all next time. But first, I'm gonna give you one more time to like that video. I need you to like, subscribe, and share this video so that more people can find it, more people like you. But that'll be all for today, folks. I'm Sendez, and we're out of here. Peace.
You're watching the Get Up Show.